With additional WWE layoffs revealed and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Going over a recent match from NXT, it was noted by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. The women's match has Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Kalani Jordan, Blair Davenport, and Fallon Henley. It's a real positive sign of management putting Legend and Jordan, who are both inexperienced when it comes to singles matches, in such a high-profile position. Legend is an excellent athlete who has size and can talk, but has struggled in the ring in the 2 years since her debut. Jordan is also an excellent athlete who people are very high on her progress, as she's only had 37 career matches, and aside from battle royals, just started wrestling in actual matches 9 months ago. As he previously revealed that he had been wrestling on an injured ankle and broken toe and suffered a calf injury, Mark Andrews has said this regarding his health, with him writing, "To update everyone, it looks like I have a grade 3C tendon tear and will be out of action for at least 12 weeks. On the bright side, now I will be eating all of the mince pies over Christmas and have 2 whole months to work off those bad boys." With former AEW World Champion Jon Moxley seemingly bleeding the most of any wrestler in the promotion, he would classify this as self-expression, telling Chris Mueller of Bleacher Report in this clip.
As far as like my own shit, I just do whatever the fuck I feel like in the moment. If I just stop what I'm doing and do a fucking spin-a-rooney in the middle of a match and then take a wrench and gouge my fucking head open, it's just because I felt like doing it. And you can't tell me it was wrong or there was a reason not to. Because it's self-expression. It's just like what I felt like doing. So that's just like what wrestling is to me. So whatever I'm going to do, it's whatever I'm going to do in that moment. And like, I don't know what it is. It could be anything. So I don't know. You got to tune in and find out, I guess.
Oh man, I don't even know. You'd probably be able to hear the pop from Chicago if you did a spinner in the middle of a match. That would be so funny.
Announcing a new streaming deal for TNA Plus, the company wrote that it would be partnering with Endeavor, as they said on X. TNA Wrestling, formerly Impact Wrestling, a subsidiary of Anthem Sports and Entertainment and a division of Anthem Sports Group, has partnered with Endeavor Streaming to deliver its global on-demand streaming service TNA Plus to its passionate fans, launching Friday, January 5th. As part of a multi-year deal, Endeavor Streaming will power the new TNA Plus app to deliver an enhanced user experience to all fans across the top streaming platforms as well as mobile and connected devices. This partnership combines TNA's expertise as a top professional wrestling promoter with Endeavor Streaming's unparalleled knowledge in delivering innovative direct-to-consumer offerings, marketing tools, analytics, and predictive modeling. TNA Plus will leverage Endeavor's experience working with the world's biggest sports organizations to scale TNA Plus's business operations and further grow its fan base and digital revenues. In addition to reclaiming the iconic TNA moniker, the TNA Plus app is relaunching with an all-new dynamic look, as well as expanded options and increased functionality. The app puts the power back in the fans' hands, delivering the ultimate premium experience where they can stream the company's flagship weekly TV show and tune into exciting pay-per-view events, view TNA's full archive, get exclusive original content and wrestler-created series, and even have the chance to interact with some of TNA's top stars. TNA Plus will be available at TNAWrestling.com via iOS, tvOS, and Android mobile apps, as well as big screen devices such as Android TV, Fight TV, and Roku, with more platforms to follow. Subscribers will have the choice of a special attraction membership tier that features access to the full TNA/Impact Wrestling library and all TNA Plus special pay-per-view programming other than the 4 tentpole annual events offered at a price of $9.99 monthly or $95.99 per year. year, and a World Championship membership tier that includes all the perks of the Special Attraction tier, plus the 4 tentpole pay-per-view events offered at a price of $219.99 per year. Further details and subscription information for the new service can be found at TNAWrestling.com. This is truly an incredible opportunity for us as we forge into an exciting new chapter of the TNA legacy, said TNA Wrestling President Scott D'Amore. We are proud to partner with Endeavor Streaming on this initiative, and we look forward to continue to provide our fans with the absolute best in new, classic, and exclusive professional wrestling content available to them anywhere, anytime on their favorite devices when TNA Plus launches on January 5th. Pete Bellamy, Chief Commercial Officer at Endeavor Streaming, said, "Wrestling fans are some of the most passionate in the world of sports and entertainment, and TNA Plus is the perfect always-on personalized OTT service to help TNA build a deeper relationship with its global audience. We're looking forward to working with TNA to deliver the best streaming experience for wrestling fans." Further details and subscription information for the new service can be found at TNAWrestling.com. Asked about a match between Roman Reigns and CM Punk in WWE, Jey Uso told Mail Sport, "Hell yeah, the Tribal Chief is ready to put anybody and everybody down, man. CM Punk might find out just like the rest did. It's different when you get in there with the Tribal Chief." During the media call for NXT Deadline, Shawn Michaels was asked about CM Punk's return to WWE as he said, "First and foremost, it's a business. For me, I don't think it was that difficult. I'm pleased that it all came together. We've always found that when you can exit the stage on your own terms, it makes the transition easier. I'm genuinely excited about it." Michaels also said this regarding the tension between Punk and Seth Rollins, telling Busted Open Radio, "You want to become that top guy, and then you become that top guy, and then you see these other people sort of come in and you go, Jesus, these part-timers and taking spots and stuff like that, and then one day you get to the point where you go, I still want to work, but I don't want to be working all the time, and then all of a sudden now you are the part-timer. I understand it on everyone's level. If you've covered darn near every aspect of this industry, you learn not to judge, you learn not to get upset. It's just one of the necessary evils of the business, but again, ultimately it always comes down to what is the bottom line and what is best for business, and I think over time everybody understands that." Speaking of the issues between Rollins and Punk, Seth Rollins addressed these when talking to Sports Illustrated. "CM Punk said some really bad things about me, talked down about me for years, and the company, WWE, for years. I'm talking some really bad stuff, called me a bootlicker and crap like that. You don't know me, you don't know what I stand for. I'm a loyal person, and I felt pretty insulted by a lot of the ways he treated me, treated the place I worked for, treated friends that I worked with. I don't need to get into any of the stuff with Colt Cabana. If you want to look at that kind of stuff, that's out there." While AJ Styles was set to be brought back to WWE programming previously, that is obviously no longer the case, as PW Insider reported that WWE had planned at one point to bring Styles back several weeks ago, but delayed that return. "We were told by a source it's a creative decision as to when he will return, and that it could be any week now, but for those who have asked about him returning tonight, we've been told that it will not be this week." Going over the potential future of Drew McIntyre, who is set to see his WWE contract expire next year, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that in the case of McIntyre, as of this week, there was nothing new as far as what he was looking at doing. He's considered a number of things, including taking time off to be with his family that he's seen little of for so long. Reviewing how AEW President Tony Khan has upset people for not stopping the release of a well-known employee, Ringside News wrote that Kevin Sullivan, the vice president of post-production, found himself on the receiving end of a decision that led to his departure on Monday. The announcement of his exit came as a surprise to many within the company. The departure was handled by Mike Manzuri, the senior vice president and co-executive producer. Kevin Sullivan got a ton of praise and had a good reputation in AEW for his role in building the post-production team in Nashville. He He had been with the company since his transition from Impact Wrestling years ago. His departure marked a substantial behind the scenes, mostly in the negative direction. Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that the decision blindsided many in AEW. He added that Kevin Sullivan had no idea the pink slip was coming. Sullivan had no idea it was coming and was given no real explanation as to why, just that it was a Mansory decision. The report further revealed a lack of clarity regarding the hierarchical structure within the AEW division. People in production were unaware that Sullivan answered to Mansory. Criticism was also directed towards Tony Khan, with some expressing disappointment that the AEW president did not intervene to prevent Sullivan's departure. Another day, one guy gone, sad, great guy, worked tirelessly since the beginning, really understood the original mission statement and feeling/image we were going for. As NXT will be moving from the USA Network to the CW next year, Shawn Michaels said this regarding the deal during the NXT Deadline media call. That move is still a bit of a ways off in 2024, but we're still extremely excited about it. But again, the partnership that we've had with USA has just been phenomenal. They have been absolutely fantastic and supportive throughout the years. Certainly, I guess from my personal standpoint, I did a lot of stuff that got in trouble with the USA Network, and they were always fantastic for us. I can't thank them enough for the partnership that even NXT has had over the past several years, and look, we want to finish out strong in that partnership. Expressing his interest in a feud with CM Punk, Jey Uso told Daily Mail, "People are going to talk about him, so hell yeah, he comes back. That's what WWE is. No matter what, we're going to please the fans and make money. Why wouldn't you bring him in? I like the guy, man. He was here 10 years ago and there was never any beef. If you're in this profession, you have to have hard skin and be able to take critique well. You can't get hot about any of this. So CM Punk is invited to my house. It's all love. Let's line it up. I'll do an angle with CM Punk. I'm ready. I'm glad he's back. Last time he was here, I had paint on my face. I'm a different Jey Uso these days." Unfortunately, it looks like MJF's role in a movie has been cut down significantly, as the Wrestling Observer newsletter wrote. From what we understand, the way the Iron Claw movie was edited, the MJF role of playing Lance Von Erich, based on people who have seen the latest version, was pretty much dropped. The latest version is maybe 10 seconds, and they never go into the Lance story, and he has no speaking lines, and unless you were looking for him, you'd never know he was in it. Online, rumors have been circulating that LA Knight married his longtime girlfriend, as he addressed this on X, writing, "If anybody finds pictures from the wedding I'm hearing I was part of this week, I'm excited to see them. I must have blacked out because I don't remember any of it. Please send." Mentioning Kenny Omega not being included in the AEW Continental Classic tournament, Bryan Danielson told Mail Sport, "I really wanted Kenny Omega in it, and I don't know. People think I do a lot more than I do. I don't know what happened or why he's not in the tournament. I know it was at least brought up to him, and I don't know if he didn't want to do it, or I know that he and Chris Jericho are the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championship. So maybe that's why, sometimes with American TV wrestling, you don't want to confuse stories, and maybe that's why, but I love the field that we have because we have so many great hard-hitting wrestlers. The matches have been really, really good so far in the Continental Classic." Touching on the progress that Bron Breakker has made on NXT, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast, "I love the growth of Bron Breakker. As far as him going to the main roster, and when do I perceive him actually making it to the main roster? I think it's going to be within the next year. Let's just say that. I would hope we will keep him for at least one more year. Let's just say that. I would hope to keep Bron Breakker in NXT for just one more year." Staying on the topic of NXT stars making the move to Raw or SmackDown, the Wrestling Observer newsletter said this regarding Tyler Bate. There has at least been talk of Bate going to the main roster. His size isn't particularly right for that, but the size thing isn't as big a deal now with Vince McMahon out of the picture and Paul Levesque being more open-minded as to who can be a top star. Taking to X, Chris Jericho revealed a giveaway he is doing for some previously used gear as he wrote, "Hey guys, I'm going to give away the black dress pants and tie I wore in the Like a Dragon street fight on AEW Dynamite, November 15th in Ontario, California. All you have to do to win is write tweet describing your favorite Chris Jericho memory. I'll choose the best one and mail you the prize. You have 48 hours. Make sure to use hashtag Jericho contest to be eligible." Commenting on the absence of Roman Reigns from WWE programming, Seth Rollins told the SI Media podcast, "I mean, to be honest with you, as of late, because he's been so absent, I don't even really think it's been a topic of conversation amongst fans, let alone the locker room. I think it's one of those things where it's an opportunity, but it's such a glass ceiling opportunity. Like, it feels like almost it's one of those things where it may never happen. Like, what's the point in wasting your time over there because the glass ceiling is so obvious and so thick," which is nice on my end with the World Heavyweight Championship. Asked about some of his favorite Randy Orton moments, Matt Hardy said this on his Extreme Life podcast. "One of my favorite moments with Randy, as crazy as this is, was right before I left in those last 3 years, where we did the promo and I came out to take up for Adam Copeland and then he attacks me. Then I have this brace on my neck and that was initially going to be it. But the segment, Vince loved the segment so much. He loved the interaction. He loved our character work and apparently it did a decent number too. So then I came back the next week and I was going to originally have a virtually 3-segment match, and then I was going to wrestle him after having this neck brace on. My neck was broken or fractured or whatever, and it ended up changing because I think that was a bone they were trying to throw me to try and get me to re-sign, and maybe I'd do it if I was in this angle with Randy. They were promising me some other stuff with Bray and The Fiend going forward." When it comes to a spoiler for a potential return to WWE at NXT Deadline, it was reported that Cora Jade was spotted earlier today in Orlando with the rest of the WWE NXT crew traveling north for NXT Deadline tomorrow. PWInsider.com has confirmed. A WWE source confirmed she was scheduled to be at the pay-per-view earlier this week. In a photo, CM Punk can be seen in a gym before SmackDown as he appears to be in great shape. It looks as though Sami Zayn could be set to take some time off from WWE, as the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted. It looked like they were doing an injury angle with McIntyre and Zayn where McIntyre stomped on Zayn's bad knee. I don't have it confirmed Zayn will be off for a while due to that, but do know that he had asked for time off recently and was granted it but wasn't told when that would begin, past he was not scheduled for December 28th show in Laval, Quebec that would normally be built around him, as that was during the scheduled break, although it is possible they could have him do that show. Giving his take on who is under the devil mask in AEW, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. said on his podcast, Adam Cole, and he's been faking the ankle injury surgery recovery story the whole time. Isn't it convenient that his ankle got hurt right around the same time that the devil character came to fruition? AEW coach BJ Whitmer was fired from the company after news of his arrest for domestic violence came out in June. He would be charged with first-degree strangulation and second-degree burglary. Now his victim has come forward, with News 19 in Boone County, Kentucky getting an interview with Jamie Hahn, who said this about the experience with Whitmer. "It's physically altering when you're having to make sure that your voice is being heard, and if you don't attend court and you put yourself in this vulnerable environment, it's very possible that things won't get mentioned to get that justice. Whether I feel failsafe or not, the ability to move forward from this, I can't move forward because now I'm going backward about things that have nothing to do with what happened that day. Going over more releases from WWE that took place previously, Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer newsletter there were more front office cuts and one talent cut on December 1st. The only name confirmed at this point from being let go were 5 major executives. Michael Weitz, the Senior Vice President of Financial Planning, who had been with the company since 2006, was let go. This would be job duplication as either Endeavor or UFC have someone doing the same job. Weitz was part of investor relations and was on all the quarterly investors' calls for probably a decade, if not longer. The last investors call was totally different and was handled by Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro and included nobody directly with WWE like Weitz or Paul Levesque or Nick Khan or Vince McMahon. Also let go was Craig Stimmel, the head of global sales and partnerships. He had just started last year and was part of the group responsible for the big rise in sponsorships. Others let go include Karen Mullane, the controller and chief accounting officer, Stuart Frey, the senior vice president of streaming technology, and Matt Geyer, the senior vice president of gaming. The only talent name cut was Mackenzie Mitchell, the interviewer on NXT. The story was that all cuts were based on cutting expenses and not related to job performance, although I can't see Mitchell being a gigantic expense. Kelly Kincaid, formerly Quinn McKay in Ring of Honor, took over the position Mitchell had. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.